let's take it way back, shall we? Let's start with how it all started for me. Let's talk a little bit about monetization, because I know that that's a big question that people have. Seeing them form relationships with each other and relationships with the people that were coming and watching their content. And I was really hopeful. I didn't know if it would happen, but I was hopeful that that would happen for me. And that's what I use. That's just, an option for you. But I needed to make sure that I said that. It's a lot. It's a lot. Hey y'all, and welcome to today's video. It's a little bit of a chilly morning out here on the back porch. My name is Tiffany. This is our small town life. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Typically around here, in case you're new, I like to share my old-fashioned heart and home. My husband Justin and I and our 5 kiddos, we live in a double-wide mobile home on a 1-acre homestead, and we share our day-to-day life with you, showing you what it looks like to live in a small town in the southern United States. We live in Alabama, and so that's the content that I usually share, is just sharing our day-to-day life with you and what that looks like for us. Today's video, though, is a much requested video. I've had several people ask if I would sit down and talk about this particular topic, and so that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to sit down and talk to you about why I started YouTube, what that's looked like for me over the years, and tips I might have for someone else who's thinking about starting a YouTube channel. I've talked about this here and there briefly over the years in Q&As and things. When someone would ask, I would tell why I started YouTube or give little bits here and there, but since I'd had so many requests for this, I thought, let's sit down and do a dedicated video to the topic. The wind's going to decide to blow a little bit, so hopefully it doesn't get too strong. Let's take it way back, shall we? Let's start with how it all started for me. I started YouTube almost exactly 4 years ago. And I mean, almost to the day. We're just a couple weeks away, maybe a week away from being 4 years sharing here on YouTube. And one of the biggest things, y'all, as I was thinking about this video and the things that I wanted to stress the most, things that I really wanted to share with you, I had made myself a list of those things. That's like, Tiffany, don't forget to mention these things. And one of those was, and probably the most important one, is that this doesn't look the same for everyone. We don't all share the same kind of content. We don't all make the same money. We don't all get monetized at the same rate. We don't all have the same people come in to watch our videos. On so many different levels, this is different for everyone. And that's okay. I'm just going to share my story with you. I'm going to share some of the things that I do and the way I do some things, but you don't have to do them the same way. And that's one of the most beautiful parts of YouTube, is that there's a space for everyone and we don't all have to do it the same way. So I started YouTube right at 4 years ago, and I'd actually felt like it was a calling on my life before that. My why for doing YouTube may not be the same as yours. But for me, I really felt like it was a calling on my life. And I had made excuses that I didn't have the right equipment, that I didn't know how to edit or how to get music or how to make thumbnails, or I didn't even know what my channel name would be. And so, and one of my biggest excuses was, what would people think? What would people think? I mean, do I want people watching my life? But I finally got to a place where I said, I'm going to be obedient to this calling on my life, and I'm going to use this as an opportunity to share Jesus with people, even if it's just them having a peek into my everyday, day-to-day life. I also, and this is something that I have shared before when I've answered the question of, why did you start YouTube? I guarantee you, even with the wind, it's quieter out here than it is in the house. But I had heard Erica, my very dear friend Erica over at Dorset Doorstep, I had heard her say that vlogging was like a digital scrapbook. And y'all, it is. It is. We love as a family to sit down and watch our vacations and hiking and just being in the kitchen. Even just to go back and watch what our, oh, and there's the sunshine glowing. Even just going back and watching what our regular days looked like at different times in our life is so special. Ooh. Okay, back at it. The clouds covered the sun. I love me some sunshine, but you know, we gotta make it work for us while we're filming. So being able to capture those memories was really important to me. And I also was watching other content creators and seeing them form relationships with each other and relationships with the people that were coming and watching their content. And I was really hopeful. I didn't know if it would happen, but I was hopeful that that would happen for me. And y'all, it did. And it happened big. And it happened quick. Within weeks, I was starting to connect with the people who were coming to watch my videos, you all, and I was connecting with other content creators. There's this special bond you have over creating content for social media. And y'all, I am still friends with those people to this day. I've made new friends along the way, and I don't know what I would do without you all. People I've never met face to face, but I feel like I've known you forever. Very, very special friendships and relationships. I'm so thankful for that. Now, when I started YouTube, I was actually still working it was a part-time job, but it was 5 days a week. The hours just worked out where I could take the kids where they needed to be in the morning. I could work and be able to go pick them up at a decent time in the afternoon. It was still 5 days a week though. And just a few months into being on YouTube, I left that job. It wasn't because I was wanting to do YouTube full time. It was because I answered another calling on my life, and that was to homeschool my children and be a full-time homemaker, wife, and mother. And when I started YouTube, I really wasn't even thinking about money that I could potentially make. I know that that's a reason why a lot of people start YouTube, is they want to be able to make an income, and that's great. That is a good motivator, but don't let that be the only reason why you do this, because we don't know how long it's going to take to get monetized. We'll talk about that more in just a minute. And having other reasons why you do this, like for me, it being a calling on my life, wanting to capture those memories, wanting to create the relationships, having those other reasons really makes this special, and it gives you that boost to keep going. Y'all, this is also really fun. I'm a creative person, and this gives me, you know, editing and creating thumbnails, that it's fun for me. I enjoy it. Something beautiful that has happened, and God knew that this was going to happen. This was part of his plan. But I have been able to replace the income that I was making in that job that I left just a few months into, you know, me starting to share here on YouTube. And it's a really neat thing to think about, a powerful thing to think about, how God has worked this all out for my good. And I've now been able to replace that income. And I hope that we continue to grow around here. Good Lord willing. We'll continue to grow, and I am so happy that you'll get to be a part of it. I can't wait to see what's in store. He's blessed me. He has blessed me. I could never thank him enough. I can never thank you all enough. Let's talk a little bit about monetization, because I know that that's a big question that people have. Again, this happens at different rates for everyone. For some people, it happens faster. For some people, it takes longer. But when I was monetized, and still now, the requirements are at least 1,000 subscribers and at least 4,000 watch hours, not minutes, hours of people watching your videos. And you can be monetized to be paid out through Google AdSense. You get paid for the ads that run during your videos. You have had to have made at least $100 to get paid out. So it took me, this is my story here, just sharing what happened with me, but it took me right at a year to be monetized. And then even then, it took me a couple of months to get to that $100 so that I could be paid out. And you get paid out once a month. So once I met that $100, it rolled over until I got to $100. And then when I had that and it came payday for the month, I was able to get paid. And the first few times that I was paid, it took a couple of months to get to that $100. But it was pretty neat to be like, you know what? I'm doing something I love and I got paid for it. And over time, that has grown and grown and grown. And like I said, good Lord willing, we'll continue to see growth because it sure does bless my family. And what has been the biggest blessing is that I've been able to prioritize the top calling on my life of being a homemaker, a wife, and a mother, and still been able to share and have some income for our family. I'm still itty bitty in the grand scheme of things, but I'm really proud of the growth that we have here, and I'm most proud of the community that's been created. As I was editing, I thought of something that I wanted to add in here. I thought it was important enough to hop back on and say this. I think that it's important to invest in yourself, and that I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing to spend money on things that will allow you to grow. I've definitely done that over the years to help myself here on YouTube, and I will continue to do that in the future, investing in myself and investing what I have going on here, whether that's my time, money, effort. Investing in yourself is not a bad thing, but I'm also going to tell you that you don't have to spend just a ton of money when it comes to getting started. Equipment is another big question. What do you use to film? What do you use to edit? And I know that that was a big question for me when I first got started. And it was, like I said, one of my excuses of why I didn't get started. I don't have the right equipment. I don't know how to edit. Y'all, I decided one day that I was just going to start with what I had. I had a very cheap phone with not a good camera on it, but I still used it. And I asked some other people on YouTube about editing from your phone, people that I knew used their phone, and they were willing to help me. And that's, you know, there were people who were willing to help me, and because of that, I realized how important it is, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this video today, is because I want to be able to do that for someone else. So I started with my very cheap phone, using what I had, especially as you're trying to figure out if this is something that you really want to do. Don't go and just throw a whole lot of money into it. Phones nowadays have really great cameras on them. Like I said, mine did not at the time, but I still used it. And once Justin, my husband, once he saw that I was dedicated to this, he blessed me with a much better phone, with a much better camera. And I still film from my phone to this day. I use YouCut, the app YouCut, to edit my videos. I use Epidemic Music for music. That is a subscription, but I feel like it's very beneficial to have that music to add into my videos. And I use Canva to create my thumbnails. I use just the free version of Canva, but there's also a subscription where you can get a few extra options, but I just use the free version of Canva. And that's what I use. That's just, you know, an option for you. Like I said, I still use my phone. I have a much better phone. Justin is he's much more tech savvy than I am. I believe I have a Samsung Galaxy S21 or 22 plus. I don't even know, y'all. But that's still what I use. It has a really good camera on it. When I first started YouTube, where we lived, I could not get internet service at that home. It just wasn't available. And so I had to use my phone. I had to use it to have access to the internet, to film and edit and upload. You can do it all from your phone. And so I still do that to this day because it's something that I'm comfortable with. My skills, y'all, are still continuing to grow. I'm still continuing to learn. It's always a learning process. I'm always, you know, trying to get better at what I do and hone in my skills on this particular, I guess, craft, sharing videos and editing videos. Now that we can get internet where we live, I have thought about getting a vlogging camera and a laptop. It's an investment. It is quite the investment, but I would like to push my skills in that area, learn something new. We tend to get comfortable with what we know, and this does work for me, But I would like to push my skills a little bit and maybe get a vlogging camera and a laptop. We'll see if I make that investment. But something I've been thinking about, just pushing myself a little further. Not that you have to, though. You can absolutely do this from your phone. You can also edit within YouTube. So I also use the YouTube Studio app, and in the web browser when it's like the things like seeing comments and turning on monetization and adding in screens, and y'all, there's a lot of work that goes into this. But the YouTube Studio app is something else that I use, and I also use it within the browser. But you can edit from that as well, and I think there's some music options there. That's just not something that I do. This is a lot of work. That was another one of those things. It's like, Tiffany, make sure you mention this. It's work, and I did this for a long time without making a dime. I enjoyed it. It's fun. It has so many beautiful benefits, but it is work. It takes time to think about what's gonna happen in the videos. It takes time to film. It takes time to move things around and think about different angles. It takes time to edit. It takes time to create thumbnails. It takes time to upload and do description boxes and end screens and iCards and monetization. It takes a lot of time. This is not easy money. You have to put in the work. But like I said, there are so many beautiful benefits to it. But I needed to make sure that I said that. It's a lot. It's a lot. And consistency is very important. You're going to hear that from everybody when they talk about YouTube. Consistency is important. When I first started this, I don't know if there's ever been a week that I did not put out a video. Maybe here or there once or twice. Even when I've had babies, like I've had content pre-filmed. I've done birth stories. I've done birth vlogs. I've done coming home from the hospital, because I wanted to have those memories, because it's fun, because I enjoy it. I don't know, there's been many times that I did not have a video over the last 4 years. But when I first started, it was just here and there. One video a week, 1 or 2 videos a week, never on the same days, never even really at the same times. And then about a year in, so when I started YouTube, I started it just with my name as the channel name. And then, y'all, I'm talking with my hands so much. Audrey's like, Mom, I wish you would not talk with your hands so much. But a little while in, I decided I was really feeling God lead me to sharing what it looks like living in a small town. So we changed the name to Our Small Town Life. And with that, I decided... There's the sun again. With that, I decided to, I guess it was probably maybe a year and a half in, I decided to start uploading 5 days a week. And uploading at the same time and the same type of content. And that's where I really saw a good bit of growth. And that's what I still try to do to this day, is upload Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And consistency really is key with YouTube, but also don't push yourself to a place where it's not enjoyable anymore, especially when you want to do this because it is something that's fun, because it does help you create relationships, because it is a creative outlet. Maintain a sense of not pushing yourself to a place where it's not something you enjoy anymore, but be consistent if you want to see growth, if growth is something that you are here wanting to see. And y'all, YouTube is not for everyone, and that's okay. Just like it doesn't look the same for everyone doesn't have to share videos on YouTube. This can just be a place where you come and you subscribe and you get to be a part of a community, get to watch videos and connect with people. But it's not for everyone. And that's another reason why I say don't just throw a whole lot of money into it to start with. Trying to make sure you have all things. Test the water, see if it's something that you enjoy doing. Because that old saying, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. That is true. But if you're also pushing to do something so hard because you want to make $1 that it's not enjoyable anymore, then it becomes work. It becomes work that's not enjoyable. There's work that is enjoyable, and sometimes we have to do things that aren't fun. I get that. Sometimes we have to do things that aren't super enjoyable, but it can become that if you let it. So don't push yourself so hard that it's not fun anymore. This can be something so special, but you have to kind of protect it and keep it that way. Well, this video has turned out to be a little bit longer than I originally anticipated it to be, but I wanted to share with you what this has looked like for me. I wanted to make sure that I shared some things that were important and that I felt like were really good tips when it comes to having a YouTube channel, talking about the reasons why we do it, talking about how it doesn't look the same for everyone, about how you can keep it simple and learn as you go, about the beautiful benefits and the relationships, and also about how it doesn't have to be for everybody, and that's okay too. I definitely had people that were there for me and gave me some helpful information. If I can help you out, I tried to be as specific as I could be while also keeping it kind of general, if that makes any sense in today's video. So if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know down in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them for you. If you're new to the channel, I would love for you to go and check out some of our other videos, see what we've got going on around here, subscribe, and be a part of our family. I love you. I appreciate you, and I mean it with all my heart. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all. That bird's talking to you.